Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is the pre-market analysis for QOL trading. Today is Monday, August 24th. I hope everybody had a good weekend. You're looking at our webpage right now at QOLtrading.com. If you go to the webpage, you can put your name, email address in here, and you can get the free weekly subscription of our newsletter. We put it out every Sunday. We put out 20, how many editions have we put out so far? 23rd edition. So in the newsletter, you get the week in review, all levels, all kinds of levels, S&Ps, the broader markets, of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I'm adding on there now, oils, the VIX, all of our Mag 7s, and then news related to a lot of these stocks, and then also what to anticipate for the week ahead with economic data. So anyways, go ahead and sign up for that so you can get your free newsletter for that. And then also too, you can sign up for a bunch of extra things that we have. We have our trading room, and then we have our indicator, that QOL Scalper. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at that. So here's Friday. This is our indicator that we've developed, and very simple indicator. It gives you your table down here. It gives you your range, the grade of the range, the bias of long, short. Right now, it is in live mode right now, so it's showing a short, short bias right now. But pre-market doesn't really mean anything. But if you look here on Friday, you got your indicator to go to take your trades here. You can even look at it at a smaller level here. Let's just get over here. So this is Friday on the 1 minute. You can see on the 1 minute chart, it's a little more noisy than the longer charts, but it gives you your idea on what you're looking for right now. So it gave you like the first couple of minutes, it gave you your short bias, and then it gave you your exit right here, and then it gave you a long bias right here. You broke your range 351 and you got up to the 355 level, and we're going to go over these levels today. We are in that speed zone that we've been talking about for a little bit, but just wanted to give you a little taste of what that's about here. And so then if you go to the inside the website, if you click on either the live trading or this Discord symbol here, you have access to join whatever you want to join. You want to join for free? That's fun too. Anyway, so let's get into things right now. Let's talk about our pretty packed week of economic data here. Let's see. So for today, kind of mild here. You've got Best speaking right now. And there seems to be a lot of bond activity that's happening overnight that's actually spurring the crypto market, and we'll go over the cryptos in a minute. Tomorrow, what we have, I don't see anything too impactful. The big part of this week is going to be Wednesday. You've got core PCE price index, about preliminary GDP numbers, and then of course after the close for earnings, we have. We've got NVIDIA after the close on Wednesday, so pay attention to that. That's definitely going to move the needle. Aside from that, I don't see anything on here that is going to impact the markets too much, aside from the earnings side of things. So getting back to the economic data, so Wednesday is going to be pretty heavy day there, and then Thursday we've got unemployment claims, and then Jackson Hole starts day one, and then Friday Chairman Warr speaks at about 9 o'clock. So that's going to move the needle there as well. So a lot of stuff on the markets for this week for economic data. So be on your toes for things. So let's get over to what we normally look at. We'll start with the VIX right now. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video for me. Also, if there's things that I don't cover and you'd like me to cover, I'd be glad to take a look at it. I do not cover any penny stocks though. So look at the VIX right now. I got a bunch of gap ups here. I got a gap up here from Friday at $15.17. Got another gap up here at $14.27 from the 17th of last week. But also to note, we do have some gap downs. We've got a gap down here from April 8th, $25.74, and then the $30.34 gap down rather from March 30th. Ever since this rally started here. So respecting the 20-day moving average, we're still below the 50, so that is a positive thing right now. So we still may have some more upward push left in the market right now before, in my eyes, I think we'll get a little pullback here, which will be healthy here. Let's take a look at oil right now. Oil's elevated, as we talked about. We're stuck in between the 100 and the 20-day moving average. The 100-day is sitting at $87.89 a barrel, and the 20 is sitting at $82.20 a barrel. We have a gap down here at $90.40 a barrel from July 24th. And then, of course, we have that last gap down here at $96.99. Gap down from May 22nd. We do have a gap up at $71.63. That's all what we have on the downside here. However, pay attention here. We're above the moving averages right now, so we are moving higher. But hopefully you get a little resistance at this 100-day and knock oil down a little bit. But a lot's going to depend on what's happening geopolitically out there in Iran. Okay, crypto side. Let's go over Bitcoin. Bitcoin's getting a nice little boost back based on the buybacks, the bond buybacks that are happening right now. It's a bit over my head, so I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I just know the reasoning behind it. We have been in a crypto hibernation for the last year, actually. So I think big level here. You can get above the 79,497, maybe even if you get over that 80,000 you hold, then you can push into that 82,833 level. You can see we held this April low from 2025 at 74,175. That was a big level here. Also pay attention, we're well above all the moving averages right now. So nice little purge. And I know there was like a major short covering on Bitcoin last week. I think it happened right in here. It started. So we'll see if we can continue to get that push. If you do get that spike and you get above that 82,833 level, I think you can push back into the 97,000 level. So pretty promising there on the Bitcoin side. I think Ethereum is performing better right now. So got to get above the 2620 level. If you get above that, then I think you could start pushing back into the all-time high, not the all-time highs, but that 3,400 level. So same thing on the Ethereum side, well above the moving averages, which is very promising. So I think you're going to want to, if it does get a little pullback, probably going to want on the Ethereum side, probably going to want to hold this 2327 level. But hopefully we can continue to push on that crypto side. So that's big. That's good. Any of you crypto holders out there. Okay, let's get into the ES. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel for me. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. I appreciate that. Holding the 20-day moving average right now, sitting right here at 76.70. So big level right there. In order to continue to push higher, you're going to have to regain the 77.2425 level. If you do that, we have an open point of control up on the upside at 77.94. Probably get some headwinds up there between 77.94 and maybe 7,800. That's going to be that, psychology number, the 7,800 level. I'd like a pullback to the 76.3225. I've been talking about this pullback for a while here. You can see this whole speed zone that happened over here on August 4th. We're right there. We didn't quite close it up here, right? So if we do get a flush to the 76.3225, I don't mind that long there. We are above the 50, sitting at 75.8714. A better flush would be 75.40. And then below that, we have an open point of control at 74.09, which pay attention to. Let's take a look at the SPY. It's going to be very similar. In the SPY, we have an open point of control up here at 773.34. I like that. If you pop up there, and get above the 772.30, which is a low from August, from last week, rather. So you could see this low right here was support. We lost it. We came back up here. This is a perfect example of a break and retest. You broke a level, you came back up here, and you retested it, and boom, you got some more sell, right? But what happens with these levels is the more you come back and you test them, it's like throwing a brick against a wall. Eventually, that wall is going to weaken, and then those levels that are resistance will then become support. So on the downside, we do have an open point of control at 757.70. You got to pay attention to. That's from June 4th. Below that, we do have the 50 sitting at 751.75. And then we do have another open point of control at 746.43. With this gap up at, call it 744.55, and that is from July 31st. So the beginning of this month, we have that gap. We have that 746. So same thing how I explained here, a break and retest. This is the same thing for the upside. So we broke this level back in, actually right here. We broke this on July 31st, and now it's coming down to test this level. So To me, this is your A plus pullback level, 746.43 if you do get that flush. It's trying to hold the 20-day right now, and then you've got a previous all-time high at 760 and 40 cents. If you regain 767.46, I think you can push back into this point of control, 773.34 level before you can push back into the 775 level. Let's get in the Nasdaq. Nasdaq now. Same thing on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's rejecting the 50, and we are rejecting the 20 right now. So we are below those two moving averages. So when you're below the moving averages, you're looking for pop and fades. And if you get the pop and fade, you get to up to your levels for a little pop and fade. I would probably utilize, definitely the close will be your first level, 30,352 if you pop up there. But that's quite a bit of ways right now. You're going to have to hold this 29,066 level. That's a May 13th low. If you lose that, you could possibly come down to the 20-day moving average at 28,759. And this weekly low from May 12th at 28,740. So hopefully you hold this 29,066 level if you flush there. But we have a big week of economic data, so I would not be surprised if people taking risk off right now. So big speed zone right here. We're below that right now, trying to hold up here, but a good possibility if you lose 29,066, you could flush all the way down to 28,740. On the upside, got to regain the 50-day moving average until you're comfortable taking longs, 29,513 and change. And then if you get above that, then you could possibly push back into this 29,783 level. It is a previous all-time high from May 14th that we got through it, and then it became a rejection point, right? So you have to look at these levels on how they respond on previous days to know if there are sellers there or where there's positions that were being taken. Okay, let's look at the Qs. Qs right now, same thing, struggling with this 20-day moving average. I would say that's going to be your line in the sand. This 709.65, got to get above it and hold it. If you hold it, then you can push into the close from Friday. If you can regain the close from Friday, call it 713.44. That is sitting right on the 50-day moving average. Then you could push into the 721.50 level. I would not be surprised if you still get some rejection here at the 50. But if you do push and purge through it, and then you could see the price action and the holds, 721.50 could be in your sights there. And then above 721.50, I don't have anything until 730.83. On the downside, if you lose 705.80, we have this point of control. It's a filled point of control, though, I believe. Yeah, it's a filled point of control at 723. And what does that mean, filled? It means it was a point of control at one point. The market came down, or it came down and touched that level. And so then that becomes a level of support. So I leave this up there for a little bit, and I see how the market responds when it gets to that level to see if it's a valid level or not. And then below that, if you lose 723, we've got a 694.85 level, which is the 100-day moving average. But one thing to keep in mind, you're going to see all these moving averages, they're starting to converge on one another. So to me, that's telling me that there's a move about to be had. Whether downside, upside, who knows? Who has that crystal ball? But you can see all this consolidation right now. All of these moving averages are starting to get tighter and tighter. That, to me, that's telling me that the consolidation is getting near an end. Okay. All right, let's get into the Mag 7. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. NVIDIA, I would not be touching NVIDIA right now until the earnings are done. You can see NVIDIA is doing a little consolidating itself. It is, though, however, holding the 20 at 213.18. And we are above the 50. It's sitting at 207.58, as well as the 100-day moving average at 206.65. Got to hold that level. We have this. Here's another point of control that was filled. 217.50. If you pop up there, probably get some headwind. You could see we already had that this morning. So that's going to be a big level to get through, as well as this midline regressional trend line that I have here. It's a short one. Actually, not too short. It's over a year. So that's a big level here. You can see how it's responded as you go back. Tried to hold it last week, and then it rejected it on Thursday, and then clearly rejected it on Friday. So that'll be a big level. I would be comfortable with you getting your longs if you can regain this 219 level. But right now you can see that it's really struggling for the 20-day moving average. So I would say pull back to this November high would be pretty good. Break it nice and break and retest this level. Same thing, you broke the high. Now we're coming back to test it, 211.34. If you lose that, then I think you come back down and test probably the 50 and the 100-day moving average sitting at 206.65, which is 102.07.58, which is the 50-day moving average. Okay, let's get over to Apple. Apple made an announcement over the weekend. They're talking about their iFold. I'm actually waiting for that myself. I want to get into that game there. It's a beautiful speed zone that we have here. If you can ever get some push. Sorry about this. You're going to have to get above that 317.40 level. That's going to be the level where you can start to push higher. Right now, it's just pulling in the pullback mode. We did hold this 301.97 level last week. I was talking about that all last week. So I would say, like, right now, if you pop to 317.40, that's going to be probably some headwinds at that level. You could see right here, really struggling pre-market right now. So I would not be surprised if you did try to flush back out down to that 301.97 level and hold that. If you lose it, 297.08 is a 100-day moving average. And then I've got this longer-term regressional trend line sitting here from October of last year, sitting at 292.25. And then this 288.62 is a high from December of last year. This would be an ideal pullback if you get that flush, right? Upside, got to get above 317.40 to feel comfortable. If you pop up there at some point during this week and you hold that level, I'd like you to push into that 323.45 and maybe even to that 329 level. All right, let's look at Meta. Meta's in the penalty box due to all this the trial about their social media manipulation, but nothing surprises me with any of these companies. They're a big target, and at some point, if they flush, it's just more opportunity. We do have this this gap up at $500, call it 500 even from April 22nd. Below that, if you lose that, 479.19 is a level that could potentially come into play. We have this open point of control here at actually, no, it's not an open point of control. That one was just a previously filled open point of control. But pay attention, we're below the 100. The 100 is sitting at 607.57. The 50 is sitting at 592.99. And the 20 is sitting at 576.48. If you can get above 556.88, I'd like us to push into the 576.48 before you get some headwinds up there. On the downside here, this 533.14 open point of control from the beginning of the month, or actually end of July, same thing. Looks like that could be a target right there. And then below that, like I said, this 500 even number on there. Okay, let's get over to Google. Google's a mess. By the way, all these tech stocks right now are up and down. They're just consolidating right now. But the same thing, we're below the 20, sitting at 346.82. On Google, got to hold this 333.69 level if the market flushes there, and it's got the 332.06, which is a 200-day moving average. For those of you that are kind of new to trading, 200-day moving average is a really significant level there. So if the market does pull back there, maybe a possible long. It's sitting right above, we're sitting right above this regressional trend line that I have here from earlier. It's a short one from May of this year. So pull back 333.69 to 332.06 would probably be a decent long. Long-term upside here, you got to get above this 353.87 level. It's a gap. It's a previously gap up. And then if you can get above that, then you could start pushing back up into these levels of 363 and the 373 level. But right now, it's soft, it's consolidating, and the same thing, all of these moving averages are starting to converge on one another. That means that the consolidation is coming near an end, and then there's probably going to be a move. So let's get into Amazon. Did I just go over Amazon? I didn't go over Amazon just now. No. So Amazon below the 20-day moving average of 261.38. Got to get above that 262.07 level. If you get above that, then you can push back into the 270 level. Below this, I would say this 258.08 level, 255.19 could be a level. It's a May 1st low, and then below that we have our moving averages 249.73 to 251.64. The 50-day and the 100-day are sitting right there on top of that level. You lose those levels, I got a 245.73 level that I like for support versus a low, right? So this is a high, and the reason why I like this level versus the low level is the high is a break and retest. You broke that level, and now you come back down here to test the high, right? The low, probably test the low and probably go through the lows. Okay, let's get over to Microsoft. I like Microsoft to pull back to this 466.84 level. I know it's going to be below that 20-day moving average at 473.09. That is a June high of this year, and it's also a gap up. So break and retest level, great level there. And then below that, we've got a weekly high here from December of 2024, which is actually a pretty strong level too. 456.16 if you lose the 466.84 level. On the upside, got to get above 484.16. If you get above that and hold it, you could push into 489.30. But you can see how this level here is, big level here. So if you do get the push and you get through there, we have this open point of control 496.88 from the 14th of this month. And then below that, above that, you've got a low here of 506 even here. So that would be an ideal break and retest if the market does push back there to get some resistance up there at that 506 level. But we are above the 20-day moving average, and we are well above the 100 and the 50-day moving average. 100 is sitting at 415.41, and the 50 sitting at 419.84. So pay attention to those levels right there. But if you just look at this holistically, it's a mess, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down consolidation. Okay, let's get into SpaceX, and we'll get into Tesla, and we'll get on with our day here. So get out of here. SpaceX, same thing, consolidating right now. Have some open point controls below us. We have one at 129.22. We've got one at 110.53. I don't have anything else below us on the point of control side. We have a bunch above us on the upside. We have $147.78 on the upside from the 17th of last week. If you can regain 139.41 this week and hold, I'd like us to push back into that 147 level. This is a nice little speed zone that was created here from last week, from the 19th. So if you can get above this 139.41, you could probably quickly push up to the 147 and then the 150 level, which is the initial opening on the IPO. On the downside, if you lose your 20-day moving average of 127.94, 123.61 is probably a no-brainer. And then below that, we have this 110.53, like I said. So you're going to have to watch that. You probably have to watch not only the low from Friday, but the low from Thursday as well, probably sitting here at this 130. So I think this 129.22 could be a pretty decent target on the downside here. Okay, let's get into Tesla now, and then we'll get on with our day. Tesla, beautiful move in the last 3 weeks, right? Straight up. So now we're getting our resistance. We didn't quite get our gap fill, 372.60, and we didn't quite come up here and test this 369.98. So this is a low, right? This is a break and retest of a low, so you got to watch that low there. We do have some open pointed controls now, some recent ones. We've got one at 343.59. I like a pullback there, right? So if it does flush, I like a pullback into this level here, this between 342 to 343 level. 350 will probably be a pretty good level for the market to pull back to today. This is a high from the 14th of last week. If you fan out a little bit, you could see what we're talking about. Boom. This is you use these levels here. You could see why is this a big level? Because it came up here and look at the sell-off off of that level, off of that 351 level. So that was a big level, right? So now what happens is, so now the market pushes, it gets through that 351 level right here. So now that's a break. There's your first part of the trade. There's your first part where you start to get excited. It broke the 351.26 level, and that level was a good level because of the amount of selling that came in. Now what you're waiting for, the break and retest. So this would be a great level if the market pulls back. And by the way, nothing is 100%. So if you do continue to flush, I'm not the only one creating this. I didn't invent the wheel with this, people, right? So there's other people that are looking at the same trade of this break and retest. So if you take this trade, it doesn't mean, oh, this is going to be an automatic winner. You have to have your stops in place. So for me personally, if I was getting in this trade right here, my stop would probably be right here at this 347.17. If you lose that, then there's a good chance that this break and retest is going to be failing. Especially for me with this open point of control 343.59, and we also have one down here at 318.91. But we are above the 20-day moving average. However, we are below the 100-day moving average. So we could be trading in this zone for a little bit. It does, by the way, when these levels set up, it doesn't mean it happens instantly. Sometimes it takes time for things to mature, and it's like Novocaine, give it time. All right. So big move though on Friday, and actually the last 3 weeks, it's the third consecutive upside week. is rejecting the 50-day moving average right now. You got to pay attention to that. 365.57 is going to be a big level. And if you get above that, you're going to have this 369.98 level. And of course, this gap up will close at 372.90. Okay. And above that, your 100 is sitting at 381.55. Okay, that's going to be it on the levels for Tesla. What are we going to do for Tesla today? I'm not even going to mess around with 0 days till expiration. I'm going to start with Wednesday's expiration. I'm going to have a 370 call up here. You can see these 370 calls. They close at $3.85. We are below the close at 362.86 right now, so this will be a little cheaper, maybe by a few cents, because we do have 3 days of trade on this stock, on this strike price until it expires. And then I'm going to have the 350 puts up here, and you can see these close at $2.01, right? A little cheaper, a little cheaper than this premium, because we are further away from the strike price, right? So the strike price is 350, and we are $12 higher. So that means that the odds of it coming down to 350 lessen the further away you get away from the strike price, especially on the put side, right? So if I'm buying puts, I want the market to go down. If I'm buying calls, I want the market to go up. So if I have 370 calls, we're about $8 away and change from the strike price there. That's why this premium is more expensive, right? Anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for joining. And again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video for me. Don't be afraid to share the video either. And then also drop a comment below if you want me to cover anything that I haven't covered. And if I don't see you in the trade room, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Have a great trade day, and be careful all that economic data that we have coming out this week. And don't forget NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday if you are trading NVIDIA. Have a great day. Talk to everybody later. Bye.